Today we're going to go over a papier-mâché lily as requested by someone in the comments of one of my previous videos. So right now I'm just going to start by drawing the outline of the petals. I'm going to cut this out and I'm just going to trace that as many times as I need to and cut it out just so that I can keep the general shape of the petals to be pretty similar. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the center part, and we're just going to cut some little pieces of cardboard out like so. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start bending those little pieces of cardboard just to make them a little bit more rounded. Now I'm going to start cutting out the ends of it, just these little rectangles, and then we'll eventually cut those down towards the end to make them a little bit more rounded on the edges. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start to fold some of these petals just to make it a little bit easier for when we go in with our hot glue. Now I went ahead and cut out a little circle just to glue our petals onto as a base, just to make sure that I can keep everything even and centered. And don't worry about it looking a little bit interesting. Once we put in the center spindles, everything will come together. So once I'm done gluing these on, I'm just going to trim these down because the center one's supposed to be the tallest and the other ones are supposed to be smaller. And then I'm going to add glue to the top of the center one rather than just putting cardboard on it so that I can give it that texture of it being kind of bubbly off the end. So first we're going to go ahead and start with our tape. Then we're going to go ahead and get our bowl of newspaper ready and just rip up a bunch of pieces of newspaper. Next, we're going to take a bowl of water and Elmer's glue, and then we're going to mix that up for our papier-mâché mixture. And then we're going to start appliquing the papier-mâché pieces like so. Once we've done that, we're just going to let it dry. Now I'm just going to go in with my masking tape and just tape up all of these edges like so, just in preparation for the papier-mâché itself. This part was a little bit tedious, I won't lie, but it definitely was worth it in the end. So you will need your paper mache mixture, some ripped up newspaper, and you're going to need some scissors. And you'll see why you'll need the scissors towards the end when I start working on all the tops of these little pieces right here. So we're going to cut off some of the loose bits of the edges that, hang over a little bit too much, just so that we can make sure everything is nice and neat. And since the newspaper was a little heavy because of the wetness, I just stuck some little shivs underneath there just to keep them upright. What colors do you want me to paint this? Let me know in the comments below and stay tuned for part 4. I went ahead and added some paper underneath them just because the water will make them a little bit heavy and I want them to kind of dry upwards.